This is AAFD TV, the official streaming TV show for the American Association of Franchisees and Dealers, whose mission is to help our members achieve total quality franchising. Let's get today's show started.
Welcome to AAFD TV, the official streaming show, the American Association of Franchisees and Dealers. I'm your host, Cory Mosley, and I'm glad you're joining us today. Today's conversation focuses on a critical part of the franchisee journey, avoiding costly mistakes, navigating disputes, and understanding the power of franchisee advocacy. Our guest is Mark Dady, attorney at Dady and Gardner, PA. Mark and his firm represent franchisees and business owners nationwide, with a strong focus on helping franchisees understand their rights, avoid common pitfalls, and address system-wide challenges that can arise once they're inside a franchise system. With deep experience in franchise law and franchisee representation, Mark brings a practical, real-world perspective to the issues franchisees face, from the earliest decision to sign through growth, conflict, and collective action. Mark, welcome to AAFD TV.
Thanks for having me, Cory.
Super excited that,
Looking forward to talking with you.
Yeah, super excited to have this conversation. Now, from your experience, let's just get right to it. What are the top 2 or 3 most common mistakes people make when they're becoming a franchisee?
I think the biggest mistake franchisees make when they're looking at becoming a franchisee is not fully understanding what the franchise disclosure document says and what their written franchise agreement says. A lot of folks they're excited to move forward and they don't take the time to go through it, read it, and understand it. Another mistake that I see a lot of folks do is just not doing enough due diligence, Cory. So if I had to pick the first, second, and third source of due diligence, it's talking to existing and former franchisees, right? Not just the franchisees that the franchisor has handpicked and sent to you, but really getting out there and looking for not just 1, 2, or 3, but talking to as many franchisees as you possibly can to get an understanding about what their situation has been like.
So why do you think those mistakes happen so often? What's usually driving those decisions?
I think there's a couple of reasons. I think one of them is really optimism mixed with time pressure. The sales process is designed to sell franchises. It's not necessarily designed with the purpose of making sure prospective franchisees are comfortable making good decisions and have enough time. It's really to close the deal. And so franchisees should be mindful of, when it becomes the end of the quarter, end of the year, a lot of these sales folks have quotas they're trying to meet. So they should be sure to take the time that they need to make a good decision.
Now, that's
the reason that I find is that a lot of folks think that these agreements are non-negotiable, right? So they say, look, if it's not negotiable, why would I go through the trouble of kind of understanding what's in there if I'm going to move forward anyway? And the reality that I see and a lot of other franchisee lawyers see is that these agreements are negotiable in certain instances. And even if they're not, you need to understand what you're getting into. You're spending a lot of money, and so you better understand what your rights and obligations are as you get ready to move forward.
Well, when I think about that in terms of these early missteps, because really going into that wrong, you're already kind of in trouble or exposed, I would say, out of the gate. How do those early missteps turn into real legal disputes once someone, is operating inside a franchise system?
If I had to pin it down, I think the biggest driver of disputes is mismatched expectations, right? So if I'm a franchisee and I'm told I'm going to make lots of money, or I'm told there's going to be a lot of support, and then I get into business and I don't have any money, I'm losing money every month. There's nobody there to support me. The promised point of sale system doesn't work, or the proprietary product isn't really proprietary and I'm paying too much for it. It can create real financial and operational issues for the franchisees. And once you've got financial problems or operational problems, then default notices can come. And then once you get a default notice, your choice is either to accept the default or, explain that, look, I was lied to or misled here. And that's the real problem, not my failure to pay royalties. So I think mismatched expectations is really one of the biggest drivers of all that.
Now, we know there's a lot of moving parts to all of this, but if there was one thing a prospective franchisee should do, before signing to reduce future risk, what would you recommend?
Yeah, that's an easy one. Talk to an experienced franchisee lawyer, right? Franchisees should be looking for someone that knows franchise law and knows the franchisee point of franchise law. That sometimes people come to me and will ask me to review some agreement that I have no knowledge of, a healthcare agreement or something, and I don't do it. And so likewise, you don't want your brother's cousin, or whatever it is that may have dabbled in franchise law to be reviewing this. You want somebody who day in and day out represents and advocates for franchisees, so they can tell you, the good, the bad, and the ugly of those prospective agreements.
This is certainly a specialized industry, and we want to be working with experts like yourself. Now, Mark, not every franchise problem is a legal claim, right? Why are franchisee associations so valuable when it comes to addressing system-wide concerns?
The expansion of franchisee associations is really near and dear to my heart. I think that you can accomplish so much by joining together with your fellow franchisees for the very reason you said, is because a lot of the times it's not, you've breached the agreement or you lied to me. It's just the model isn't working, or this vendor needs to be replaced. And so gathering that, a large group of franchisees together and really developing business leverage or, common sense leverage, and then approaching your franchisor, I think is a really healthy and productive way to advocate for franchisees.
Let's keep that going a little bit. So how does a unified franchisee voice, especially through organizations like the AAFD, help create healthier, more balanced franchise relationships?
The AAFD is an incredible organization that can really help avoid the divide and conquer strategy that franchisors typically employ. So if you raise your hand and say, I've got a problem with this vendor, it's not, we've been working with them, we're hoping to improve. It's, it must just be you. But when you get in an organization like the AAFD that can really gather franchisee input, share best practices, and understand kind of it's not just you, that really goes a long way to avoiding that divide and conquer strategy.
If you could leave every franchisee watching this one piece of advice, what would it be?
Don't do it alone, right? You need to surround yourself with a good quality fellow franchisees, right? So that's, again, why due diligence is so important. Make sure these are people that you want to spend time with. Make sure you're organizing. And so you've got a franchisee association that can help you along the way. And make sure you've got good counsel to assist you when you need it. But don't do it alone.
Wow. Interesting conversation, Mark. I appreciate all of the great information you've given, and thank you for all you're doing to help franchisees.
Thank you for your time. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Absolutely. To learn more about Mark Dady and the team at Dady and Gardner, PA, visit dadygardner.com. That wraps up today's episode. Thanks for watching AAFD TV. Be sure to share this conversation with your fellow franchisees, partners, and industry peers. I'm Cory Mosley, and we'll see you next time.